another fishing experience that go wrong. Whispers from the deep. Jake loved fishing. Every weekend, he would drive to a remote lake, miles from any town. The peace and quiet brought him joy, but he always went alone. He liked it that way. On Saturday, he decided to try a new spot. A small hidden lake deep in the woods. The local never spoke of it, and it wasn't on any map he found. Jake was excited for the adventure. After an hour of hiking, Jake found the lake. The water was dark and still, almost black. He felt a shiver, but shook it off. This would be his new favorite spot. He was sure of it. He set up his gear and cast his line. The silence was almost too much. No birds, no wind. Just the occasional plop of his line hitting the water. Hours passed without a bite. Frustration started to creep in just as he considered packing up. His line tugged hard. Jake grinned and started to reel in. Whatever was on the other end was strong. He had to stand up and brace himself. It felt like the fish was fighting for its life. After a long struggle, Jake pulled up his catch. But it wasn't a fish. It was a human hand. Pale and lifeless, still gripping the hook. Jake screamed and dropped his rod. His heart raced as he backed away from the shore. He tripped and fell, landing near an old, rusty tackle box. It wasn't his. He opened it, and inside were old photos of people, all smiling, all holding large fish. But as he looked closer, he saw that the fish were not fish at all. They were human limbs, just like the hand he cut. Jake's mind raced. He needed to leave, but the forest seemed darker now. The path he came from was gone, swallowed by thick fog. Panic set in. He grabbed his gear and ran, but every direction looked the same. Night fell quickly, and Jake found himself back at the lake. The water now bubbled and hissed. Shadows danced on the surface, forming faces, each one twisted in agony. A low whispering started, growing louder, calling his name. Desperate, Jake tried his phone, but there was no signal. He screamed for help, but the only response was his echo. The whispers turned into a deafening roar, and the faces in the water seemed to reach out to him. Suddenly, he felt a cold hand on his shoulder. He turned to see a figure, drenched and pale, eyes hollow. The figure pointed to the lake, then to the old tackle box. Jake understood. These were the spirits of those who had fished here before him. They wanted revenge. In a frenzy, Jake threw the tackle box into the lake. The water exploded with energy, and the spirits screamed in unison. The forest shook, and the fog lifted. Jake felt a pull, dragging him towards the lake. He fought with all his strength, but the force was too strong. He was pulled under, the cold water filling his lungs. He saw faces all around him, angry and sorrowful, pulling him deeper. Just as he thought he would drown, everything went black. Jake awoke on the shore, the sun rising. He coughed up water and gasped for air. His gear was gone, and the lake looked calm, as if nothing had happened. He stumbled to his feet and ran, not stopping until he reached his car. He never spoke of that day. He never went fishing again, but every night he heard the whispers calling him back to the lake. And in his dreams he saw the faces always watching, always waiting.